Hi, how's everybody doing? I'm doing great. I don't know if you can tell. I've been away. I had a miserable week in the US for NAM, but I'm finally home. I'm a little bit sick, but the Malmsteen vitamins are getting me through it. But I'm just glad to be back home. I suck at prepping content for when I'm away because when I have content, I just kind of toss it all out there. But Kaylin is finally back, and I have a very, very interesting video for you today. Doing this job of reviewing guitars online, over time you'll become especially familiar with budget guitars, since that's just what people are most interested in a lot of the time. And not to make it sound like selling shit to you is all I do this job for, because it really isn't, sales through affiliate links are much easier to get with somewhat affordable gear than with super high-end stuff with a lot of zeros on the price tag. So I've played, owned, and reviewed my fair share of budget stuff. But I believe I've recently found the best guitar money can buy for under $1,000. So I'm not going to waste any time. This here is the Henry's Music Golden Fury, and it's insanely good. Discovered Henry's Music at Guitar Summit in September of last year, and what drew me at their booth at that show was specifically this guitar. They had a lot of different models on display, but most of them were Strats and Tellys like you'd be used to, and they even had a black and silver version from the Fury series that I did not really care about. I was physically drawn to this sparkly golden six string, and I had to have one. And yes, I really need to figure out how to make the camera stop compensating for the light glare and making me very dark. I'm sorry, I'm new to owning a real camera. So before I get into the specs and more, I am not being paid for this particular video. The guitar was sent out upon my request, and there are affiliate links in the description if you want your own, but I have like 36 guitars. My opinion can't be bought with a free piece of gear. I have plenty already. The value for money starts with the unboxing experience. For €899, or roughly $935, it comes shipped in sort of a molded styrofoam casing, surrounded by goodies. I usually make unboxing videos for Instagram and TikTok, so if you want to see that kind of stuff, then follow me on Instagram or TikTok, links in the description, but I'll describe the experience to you. You get a Henry's Music branded fret wrap, a high quality strap with quick locking strap locks. That's not going anywhere. And it's one of the straps that does this, so you can leave the thing on if that's something you like. I'm not going to use that, but you get a little packet of Henry's button picks, which unironically have been my picks of choice lately. Not these little black ones, but the slightly bigger red ones. These are each like handmade from actual suit button material, so a set of 3 on their website costs like $20. And you get a Henry's guitar sleeve. I'm not exactly sure what the point of these guitar sleeves is, but I would be lying if I said I didn't kind of love having it on. Now, specs. Mahogany body, roasted maple thin C neck, a rosewood fretboard with these somewhat unique circular inlays and 22 stainless steel frets. If I take off the fret wrap for a second, you'll see the ox bone nut. We've reached an age where we don't need to be using animal bone for guitars anymore because stuff like Graphtec exists and also actually takes away the need to lubricate the nut, for example, but they didn't cheap out on it and go plastic, so bonus points regardless because that happens way too much even still these days for some reason. And a 6-point Strat tremolo, but with saddles that feel-wise are more reminiscent of something like a Hipshot bridge, as opposed to the uncomfortable shit ones a Strat will have a lot of the time. And while we're on the topic of improving upon Strat features, they've made a bit of an effort to carve out some of the otherwise quite clunky neck joint to make accessing the upper frets here noticeably more ergonomic, because this is just where your thumb rests, but while retaining that chunky bit that tells your thumb where the end of the neck is. It's running 2 Henry's in-house humbuckers, standard 3-way switch, 1 volume, 1 tone. Watch out now. They can each independently be split into single coils with the push-pull pots. Correction, I believe this one may be a series parallel switch instead. Let's see. and of course, it sounds awesome. And I shouldn't need to mention how incredible it looks. I mean, come on. I've held it up to the camera a few times, but this beautiful gold with the kind of subtle sparkle, just amazing. It's an instant eye catcher even in my quite interesting and unique collection. The neck is buttery smooth, and the entire thing sort of just gels together very well. It doesn't just feel like budget guitar parts screwed together into something, it feels like a complete instrument, and that's very important. I don't know if that makes as much sense as I think, but guitars that are mass-produced as opposed to hand-built will oftentimes feel very cold and lifeless. This is actually sort of the case with my Mexican Strat. It feels like a neck on a body, not like a unit. That doesn't mean I don't love it, it's great, but that is why you've been seeing it on the channel less and less, the more great stuff that I collect. But this, I can confidently say this is the best guitar you can buy for under $1,000. It is ultra versatile because you can split both pickups, stays in tune very well even with heavy tremolo use, although I just don't like tremolos all that much anymore, so I put some extra high tension springs in the back, and now that's really difficult to press down. In fact, as soon as I'm finished shooting, I'm just gonna put away the tremolo bar because it's pointless. And it comes with like $40 worth or more of genuinely good Henry's Music products, just as case candy. Like I mentioned earlier, it also comes in silver and black. If gold sparkle is a bit too flamboyant for you, I can see that. But to me, this is the sweet spot. Again, I saw all three on the rack, even alongside about 15 other guitars, and the only one I could see was the Golden Boy. This is so ridiculous, it's like it was made for me. So that's pretty much all I got to say. For $8.99, this beats the fuck out of the god-awful Fender Player series. It definitely beats sub 1K Cremo or EVH, those are usually very underwhelming. It beats the lower-end Chapman stuff, competes with PRS SE, and even though this is not competing with Solar guitars at all, because if you're in the market for one of those, you're not going to go and buy this instead, it can also go fully head-to-head with the Solar 2.6 series, which are usually priced around €8.99. And if I didn't really think it was better than those things, I wouldn't lie, I would review one of those things instead, as opposed to selling you on this. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that most gear YouTubers don't have any incentive to lie to you, because to most of us, even being paid for a video isn't worth the long-term reputation as the guy who lies to you. And you can tell quite easily who the other people are, because their name will be Music is Win. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Henry's Music for making this video possible. Links in the description if you want anything I used in this video gear-wise, especially this guitar, that's at the top of the description. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.